What's up, everybody? Jacob here, JK Productions, and there is some breaking news. Cristiano Ronaldo and Manchester United have mutually agreed to part ways after their year-and-a-half stint. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo was the top goal scorer last year for Manchester United with 18 goals in the Premier League, and this season has not nearly gotten off to the same pace. We've already saw his form decline as the years have gone on. However, so far in the Premier League, only one goal to his credit, but his form really isn't the reason why that he's going to be leaving the club. The two of Ronaldo and Erik Ten Hag have really been bashing heads ever since Erik Ten Hag's appointment as the Manchester United head coach. Things started back in the preseason tour when Ronaldo didn't show up. Now, most likely, and I'm not going to question whether this is the true case or not, Ronaldo missed the time to grieve the loss of his newborn son, which happened earlier this year, and that was his decision to then miss the tour, which is completely fine, and I have zero problems with that. However, while the tour is going on, then some whispers started coming out that Ronaldo wanted to leave and force his way out of the club. And this was really towards the end of that, with only 3 weeks before the Premier League opening up, and really late in the window to try to go out and get a top striker to replace Ronaldo, and the team is already really short at the striker position. Anthony Martial, his form is up and down throughout his Manchester United career, and he's very injury prone. Marcus Rashford truly isn't a striker. He's more of a left winger. He likes to run over the top of the defenses rather than playing as a middle target man. So he's playing out of position most of the year so far because of the fact we haven't had a striker to play. So that being said, Ronaldo wanting to leave right before the season started is absolutely ridiculous. If you want to leave, go ahead and make that announcement before tour even starts, before you decided to not go on tour. Just say, hey, you know what? I had my year here. It was a nice little comeback. I'll never forget that game against Newcastle, his debut where he scores 2 goals. That was amazing. I never got to appreciate Ronaldo as a Manchester United player because I wasn't a football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, fan back when he was with Manchester United. So me as a diehard Manchester United fan today, getting to see Ronaldo, the best player in history in my opinion, play for my team again, I was ecstatic. We had that 1 year, and it had a little bit of a rocky ending. Him and Ralph Rangnick never seemed to get along. He then came out with that Piers Morgan interview, which I'll get more into later, saying that how are you going to bring in a manager instead of a coach? Which kind of begs the question, well, who have you been playing with your entire career? You look at Carlo Ancelotti. He doesn't really do much coaching. But he's a great organizer. He's great at getting a collective group together. He's not going to coach up young talent. You could look look at Sir Alex Ferguson. Now, he's the best manager in Premier League history, in the history of the sport. However, how much coaching did he truly do rather than assimilating a lot of coaching talent around him to bring up these youngsters that we've seen through Manchester United's academy over the years? So we have that 1 year with Ronaldo, and it was beautiful, it was wonderful. But even if you look back before that, Ronaldo didn't necessarily want to come back to Manchester United in the first place. He was dead set on going to Manchester City until Sir Alex Ferguson called him up and said, hey, don't do that. And then he quickly changes course and comes back to Manchester United. That really should have been a red flag for Manchester United fans. He was really about to go to Manchester City, our in-city rivals who have been dominating the Premier League for years now. You're going to go and join them? Okay. But he obviously doesn't. He then chooses Manchester United, and it looked good. It looked all right. He did take a big blunt of the blame for Manchester United's struggles last season, and that was probably pretty unfair because he was a top goal scorer. Yeah, his form dipped, but people were expecting prime Ronaldo. They're expecting 2009, 2010 prime Ronaldo, Champions League winner Ronaldo, Ballon d'Or winner Ronaldo. That's not what he is anymore. At the time, he was 36 years old. He's now 37 years old. You're not getting peak athletic Ronaldo like you were back in the day. So, that being said, you can't expect Ronaldo to have the same output as he did back then. So that, I'll give him a little credit for. That hate was not deserved. However, then going out and going with 2 managers now in a row, butting heads with them, not cooperating with the team, and you also see his body language on the field. Every time he makes a mistake or the team makes a mistake, his arms are up in the air. He's always rolling his eyes back. It's really bad body language, especially for a very young Manchester United team around him. And Manchester United are infamous for bringing in youngsters. We've seen Alejandro Garnacho this season come in, have a beautiful run of form, and might even take the left wing spot as his own, especially if Rashford's up top and Sancho hasn't played that well this season. Garnacho can take that left wing spot for his own. Beautiful. Love to see it. But you have guys like that looking up to him, Previously, you've had Alenga now coming up. Unfortunately, also had Mason Greenwood, which, I mean, obviously there's a whole other conversation with that. But you have these youngsters coming through the youth academy looking up to Ronaldo, and he's just simply not the right guy to look up to at this point. There's so many things to check off that he's done wrong since he's come back to Manchester United. Some of which is his fault, some of which is not his own. Not his fault. But most certainly his fault is you get checked out of a game, halftime of the Real Valencia, whatever the name is, Vallecano game, the last preseason game, and you leave. And you start scratching your head, okay, that's a bit weird. First you want to leave the club, then you stay, then you play first half, and then immediately leave the stadium afterwards. Okay. And then the Tottenham Hotspur game doesn't get brought into the game. We're winning the game. It was one of the best victories of the season. Manchester United had not been dominating teams at that point and truly dominated Tottenham Hotspur that day. It was a wonderful day, everything to celebrate, and then you see the 91st minute Ronaldo just walking off the field. Like, okay, that's weird, but then you try to check yourself back in. This is a wonderful moment. And again, he brings the spotlight on himself rather than the team. There's been so much selfish behavior from Ronaldo, and his form is not adequate to this behavior. It's one thing if, sometimes you're going to get a superstar. He's a little bit of a head case. He's not going to be the most selfless player in the world, but at least he's banging in goals. At least you're top of the Premier League. You're one of the best teams in the world. You can live with it if that's the case. But Ronaldo now, with one goal in the Premier League this season, how he's interacted with head coach Erik Ten Hag is unacceptable. And Ten Hag has done a great job at building this team back up. We've seen in recent years Ole Gunnar Solskjaer not work, Jose Mourinho not work, Louis van Gaal not work. Ten Hag seems to be the guy that is going to finally work for Manchester United. And I love this cutthroat approach by Erik Ten Hag. He did name Harry Maguire captain. However, after just 2 bad games, Harry Maguire has had very few appearances since those opening 2 losses of the Premier League. And rightfully so. He does not deserve his spot. Didn't really deserve the captaincy, but I feel like that was kind of a respect thing. He was the captain coming in, so Ten Hag's going to keep the captaincy at least over through the season. But his form dropped, so he's dropped. Luke Shaw, he's the England international, starting left back for England. He hasn't had the right run of form. Oh yeah, Tyrell Malacia, you step in, have a great run of form. Then he starts to dip like, okay, Luke Shaw, go earn your spot back. Erik Ten Hag has had a cutthroat approach to Manchester United, and that is perfect. Even with Casemiro. Casemiro has come in and played very well, but when Casemiro first came in, he had to earn his spot. Scott McTominay had a great run of form up until the point of Casemiro joining the team, and then Casemiro had to work his way in. And he did, and now looking. Ronaldo did not want to work his way in. He wanted to just be handed the keys, handed back the starting striker role, and now we see where we're at. Cristiano Ronaldo. I apologize for the leaf blower in the background. Cristiano Ronaldo, Manchester United, departing ways. Please let me know down in the comments below what you think of that. Me, obviously, as a Manchester United fan, I'm happy to see him leave. It's gotten too toxic. It's gotten too much of a distraction for the team. This is a team that's moving in a positive direction, currently 5th in the Premier League. Has had some really good wins so far this season, and just a few pieces away from really competing in the Premier League. So I am all for Ronaldo leaving the team. However, as a Man United fan, as a neutral, please let me know down in the comments what you think below. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day.